Okay, we're in the pre-workup session for a podcast on timelines. That's timelinesofsuccess.com. And we're going to be talking to Mark today. Mark, say your last name a couple times so I don't mess it up.
It's Belongie.
Belongie. Mark Belongie. Mark Belongie. Really important to have the person say their name, even if you think you know how to say it correctly. And we're going to be talking about telehealth care and the future of medicine. And you know, it's funny. I was talking to my wife today, and we're talking about education. And about telehealth care should bring down the cost of healthcare. I mean, tremendously, it should bring it down with phones. And the same thing with education. We one of my companies is streaming video, and I just tell you what, I can stream virtually for free. I can teach people how to stream for free, and the universities, all these people should be streaming everything. They could be a password on it, so all our students have access when they can't make it to their classes. It's just crazy. Absolutely. Telemedicine's a little bit along those same lines where I would think it would bring it down. But so we're going to get that. I do need on your self and health, I can't even talk here, on your life and success principles before we go into the regular show, because the first part of the show is about you and your background and about a little bit about what you're doing and how you got into that element. And then we go into your life and success principles that you've applied. Now, what I've got give more than you take. What would be another two to add to that?
Well, on my LinkedIn profile, I have only those who have learned the power of sincere and selfless contribution experience life's deepest joy, true fulfillment. But I guess this is my background, Bill. You know, I've been in sales for 30 years, but really I view myself more as a problem solver. I'm not one to be out pushing product. I'm more of a sit down, listen. Where does it hurt? What can we do together? How can we help you? How can I help you build a customized solution?
Okay.
And that's done well for me. At times I've referred folks to competitors. You know, usually they'll remember that a year later and come back. So it's just, I think if you're genuinely wired to like to help others, that really helps you in this field that I'm in.
Okay, real fast. I just saw your first step. You can explain that in more detail. Be a problem solver. And then I said, give more than you take. And then what would be your third one? Like, do you exercise, health, life, whatever you do, because you have to stay healthy, of course. Anything that's really important to your family, whatever it takes to make you really work.
Yeah, I work out 5 days a week.
That's good. I need to get back to that. I used to. I do lightly now, but I don't do it like I used to. I mean, I love to go to a regular gym and go through CrossFit, especially when
my sister did that. I'm pretty disciplined. I've got a home gym set up in my house. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people say they need the motivation and the expense of a gym membership to keep them motivated, but I'm pretty go at it pretty hard every morning about 6:30 a.m.
I like free weights and I like bench. I don't have that access at my house. I've got a kettlebell and I have a beautiful, I live in the foothills of Sierras on the east side. It's 5,000 feet. I've got a gorgeous run. I run up around the backside of my house, up a hill and down, and the view is just tremendous when I run up that hill. When I'm running down, it's a sort of a steep run up and then a gradual like ridge line and then comes back down. And it's so pretty when I'm running on the top of the hill coming down. It's so beautiful. So that motivates me. But I just need to do it more, and diet's important. So anyway, be a problem solver, give more than you take. And what would be a third one you want to put in there? Something about health, take care of yourself, take care of your family, something of that nature you could talk about.
Absolutely. I've been reading up a lot. You know, I think last Friday there was another article that just came out about the ongoing obesity problem in the U.S. Coincidentally, Burger King just announced hot dogs on their menu too. So there's a lot of issues that are going on here. Sugar is a big one. I met some folks recently who presented at a Rotary organization meeting, and it's amazing the amount of sugar that's in our diets, and it's hidden. And you know, when you look at food labels, I never even noticed this before. They don't have an RDA for sugar. You know, they have for protein, for fiber, etc. There's not one for sugar. The sugar lobby is pretty powerful in that area. So I just try to keep people, make them aware of what goes in eventually is going to dictate a lot of what happens later in life.
Well, I put take care of yourself, and if you can't take care of your own health, you can't take care of others. So when they need you, so that's important. You can't run your business. I heard you talk. We'll talk about sales a little bit more. That's probably sales is so important, and sales takes time. I look at the successful people online. I think they create content about a day or two a week, and the other 5 days they're doing marketing. It has to be, you have to put a lot of effort into marketing. And we've had real estate companies too. So let's start this. So we'll start. I'm going to work after we get done with the interview. I'll go ahead and write up an intro. So we're going to go right into the conversation. And the first 10 minutes, like I said, will be all about you, your background, and just about anything you want to talk to. Try to think about what would grab the listener's attention and what would make them, be excited when they listen to the podcast. So maybe I'm going to come right off. I'm going to think of a question. I said, "Hey, Mark, welcome to the show." And you say, "Glad to be there." I'm going to ask you something right away. I said, "Is this telemarketing real? Is this telehealthcare real? Is it really happening?" I'll say something like that. Of course it's real, but I'll let you come back. Does that work?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll go back and talk a little bit about yourself. Now you're in Atlanta today?
I'm in North Georgia, about
that's
an hour
right,
and a half north of Atlanta.
North. That's right, up in the north part.
Close
he's
enough.
north of Atlanta in the mountains. Are those what's the name of the mountains up there? Oh, those are the Blue Ridge. Yeah, they're beautiful. I've been up there. It's just gorgeous, but it's been a long time. And I wasn't, I was in Ranger School when I was there last, I think. So, okay, here we go. Quiet. We're going to do 2-3 breaks. So we've got to be quiet and try to do 25 minutes. Mark, welcome to Timelines of Success.
Thanks,
so you're
Bill.
up in the
very happy to.
You're up in the Blue Ridge right now, correct? Up in the north of Atlanta.
Yes, up in the Blue Ridge Mountains, about an hour and a half north of Atlanta.
That's a beautiful country to live in. So how do you make a living in the Blue Ridge?
Well, I'm fortunate to be able to work from home. My wife and I, as empty nesters, we moved to Atlanta in '96. And after raising 3 kids there, thought a couple of years ago, we had bought a place up here in Blue Ridge 4 years ago. And a couple of years ago thought, why not go full time up there? And so we made the plunge and never looked back. I do get into Atlanta probably 2-3 times a month for a night or two on business. Like I said, it's an easy hour and a half drive, but the quality of life up here in serene Blue Ridge, Georgia is second to none. We love it up here.
Well, I can walk down the hill and down the Truckee River. It takes me about 45 minutes to walk downtown Reno, or maybe 10 minutes to drive. But it's nice to be around a big city like Atlanta too. My biggest city, I'd have to go over to Sacramento, would be the next biggest city, and then it's 4 hours to San Francisco and Santa Clara. But yeah, that's some advantages. That's a nice combination. I can already say you're set for success. Now, what your specialty is, and this is something I'm really big into, but I'm going to ask you sort of a crazy question. Telehealthcare, is it real? And how, if it is real, how does it work, and can it save me money?
Absolutely, it's real. It's growing by leaps and bounds. It's the convergence of technology. When you look at where we're at with healthcare now, very expensive. There's still over 33 million Americans without health insurance. Accessibility is an issue, but we have technology. We have smartphones. Everyone has computers. Everyone has high-speed internet. Well, not everyone, but pretty much everyone. So when you look at primary healthcare, 60% of what we go to the primary care doctor for on average are things we already know what's wrong with us. Things like pink eye, urinary tract infection, poison ivy in my case, where I had a personal use of using telemedicine last summer. So the traditional way to get care is to go to the doctor's office. You might have to take time off work. You might have to drag a couple kids to get there. You sit in a waiting room for an hour, getting coughed on. You see the doctor for 4 to 8 minutes. You get your prescription, and you're off to the pharmacy to pick up your amoxicillin or whatever it is that the doctor prescribed for you. So with the explosion of technology, why not, for those minor ailments, use your smartphone, use your computer to see a doctor 24/7 when it's convenient for you? It's really, there's a few of us that are old enough to remember Marcus Welby, a TV show about a doctor who made house calls. This is a virtual Marcus Welby, a virtual house call.
Right. You just reminded me, one of our tenant in Modesto, one of the homes we used to live in, was a doctor, and she came down with a disease where she could not practice anymore. And this would be perfect for her. She could continue on working in a specialty, through the telemedicine. I mean, there's all I can say. I'm really excited. First of all, yes. I totally believe in what you're doing, and not just in medicine, but in other areas too, like education, things of that nature, that it should bring down the cost and it should save lives. I saw a little bit in the military. They're playing around with some systems where we'd had surgeons and the soldier could pull out a little smartphone and communicate back and show what's going on or look at something specific. But this is, 100%, 110% true. So how are you involved with it? What's your relationship, and how do you actually make money working in this business?
Okay. Well, thanks for that question. Well, about a year ago, I was fortunate enough to meet who's my business partner now up here in Blue Ridge, Georgia. He owns a financial services firm. He's your life, disability, long-term care, buy, sell, key man, those types of coverages. He's owned the company 32 years. He has about 45 agents in the Southeast that also market these types of products. And he and I were talking at that time. I had left the small company I was working for in Atlanta, looking for something new to do. And the telehealth industry was very intriguing to me. I was talking to one of the providers of telehealth services. I have a background working in the healthcare space. And my business partner said, I really wish we had a product that we could offer through our agents to our clients, prospects, something in this field. My business partner is very excited about telemedicine, telehealth as well. So I made a couple phone calls, found a vendor in Dallas, Texas, who provides turnkey programs to, I'm called a reseller for this program. My vendor has north of 400,000 members with Teledoc. They have other discount programs as well. And they helped us create this to really go to market in a turnkey environment to be able to provide this product to our clients and prospects through our agents, and also directly to business owners and individuals.
Is this related to Teledoc then? Is it the same organization, the Lifestyle Enrichment Program?
Yes, Teledoc is the largest provider of primary care telehealth services in the country. They're probably larger than their next three competitors combined. Not always saying larger is better, but they had their 1 millionth consultation last year. They have about a 95% satisfaction rate. The doctors that work there love it. One thing I want to get out early in this conversation is telehealth is not here to replace brick and mortar primary care. It's here to supplement it. In fact, when you're having a consultation with a Teledoc doctor, they'll ask you during the consultation, do you want me to send the results of this consultation over to your primary care doctor? So again, that's just another tool to help folks in their healthcare journey when they don't have the time, when it's, it could be middle of the night, it could be not having to lug kids to the doctor, to be able to have this as an option for healthcare. And it's very affordable. A doctor's office visit can be a primary care doctor could be north of $100. Many of these telehealth products that are out there have a $50 consultation fee, 40 to 50, somewhere in that range. Our model is different. We're coming in with a $0 consultation fee. We want to remove all the barriers. Our program has a utilization rate of 20 to 25% a year, meaning if you take a pool of 100 people, 20 to 25% are going to use it every year. The models that have a consultation fee have utilization usually in the 5% range or so. And again, that's because of the barrier. We want to.
So I think I sort of understand what you said. You said basically there's two different models. There's one where you pay a flat fee and you can call unlimited number of times at any time, or set up appointments to get online. And the other is where when you call, there's a charge directly every time you call. Okay. Hey, that's amazing. I understand that. And that's what I'm playing with on the backside of what I do too. When my clients are politicians, some real estate agents. So that's really, I sort of understand, and it's working better where people can just call in, and it can be quick too. And you can actually, I guess if you call in, they'll call back and queue it up if they get busy, something of that nature.
Correct. What we do is you call in, there's an intake person who wants to verify who you are, what state you're in, so they can have a doctor who's licensed in your state call you. And by the way, these are all U.S. board certified doctors. There's nothing offshore about this. Last summer, I was doing some yard work on a Tuesday. Sunday, I started scratching my ankle. My wife looked down and said, "Looks like poison ivy." Took a picture, uploaded it, clicked on enter on my computer. Of course, I put in that I live in Georgia. About 8 minutes later, the doctor called me and said, "Sure, Mark, it looks like you've got a really nice case of poison ivy there. I see you registered, and it was with a local pharmacy." And I heard her hit enter on her computer, and she said, "I just sent a Z-Pack to the pharmacy, go pick it up." This was on a Sunday afternoon. It was 15 total minutes, and I was on my way to the pharmacy. Didn't have to change my trip to Atlanta the next day.
So
and,
you basically
it worked great.
got a subscription over the phone without having to go to a doctor.
Yeah, the doctor made a diagnosis, looked at my poison ivy, made a diagnosis.
Can they subscribe just about anything? What can they subscribe? Prescribe.
They can't
prescribe.
Sure, narcotics or it's just basically the medicines that you would need for minor emergencies. The Z-Pack that I mentioned to you before, maybe amoxicillin for maybe Tamiflu.
So the Z-Pack is like penicillin.
Things along that
penicillin
nature.
In it.
Z-Pack's it's a steroid product. You may have seen those before. You take six the first day, then 5 the second day, then 4. They're used for a lot of different things.
And the military used to use those, but they use them
product.
sparingly. I've had once to use it. Boy, it cleared up really fast. My commander in Afghanistan took one, and it just cleared up right away. So, yeah, that's worth it in itself, just the speed. Hey, we're going to go to a break, and when we come back, I'm going to tell you a little story where I think this product might have saved someone's life. I'm just thinking out loud, and it just came to me. And then we're going to go into your life and success principles.
Great.
So we're coming back off the break with Mark. And, on the timeline, I usually like to get in a little bit about his background. And I said I'd tell the story, and we're going to go into his life and success principles. But let me talk about his background. We're just talking. He grew up in the UP. Is that correct? Upper Peninsula of Michigan?
That's correct.
I've never met anybody who've actually grown up there. That's a remote place. It must have been kind of a neat place to grow up.
It's very remote. People don't realize it takes about 8 hours to drive east and west across the UP and about 5 hours to travel north to south. There's one area code still.
Right. I easily believe it. I've flown over the area. Hey, you must be a Green Bay Packers fan then.
Absolutely. I've been to Lambeau probably 50 times over. I used to work for the Packers in high school as a ticket taker.
I've never seen, I've flown over Green Bay, and all I can say to myself is, how can they support a football team?
Isn't that amazing? It's a city of under 100,000. To put up that kind of quality product year in, year out is amazing.
So when I flew over it and I saw that they had a football team, and I grew up in Southern California and Los Angeles, where they have no football teams right now, except the Chargers down in San Diego, where they have 15 million people packed in. And I started studying why you guys have a team, and it's owned by the people. It's maintained by the people, and people come from all around. Plus, you have had Vince Lombardi. I love Vince Lombardi. He's my favorite.
Absolutely. Yeah, to see, they call Green Bay Title Town for a big reason. Other than the 4 Super Bowls, there's probably another 10 world championships before that.
I could talk about this phenomenon at the nth degree because I'd like to figure out how the team ever got there in the first place. I assume they were one of the original teams.
They were. It's amazing, at Lambeau Field too. They thought about tearing it down at one point, but then they said, no, let's just spend several $1 million renovating it, and everyone was glad they did, because when you walk in there and you see Vince Lombardi, Bart Starr, and all the other great names around the stadium, it really it's really an amazing event. Yeah,
I again, that's kind of neat. So as someone who has actually grown up in the peninsula, and you're part of that whole region, so it's a really good story. That's the kind of football and kind of the stadium owned by the people, not the government. And it's just great system. It's worked. Well, this is not about the Green Bay Packers and Lambeau Field, but it's a good story, and it's part of your early days growing up. I could probably talk to you about what it was like growing up there, but I do want to ask you, how did you end up from the UP ending up down in Atlanta? That's a pretty big change in your lifestyle. What made you end up going that direction?
It is. Well, my wife and I met in college. We got married a couple years later in Detroit, where she was from. That's where we lived. From there, through jobs, Columbus, Ohio, San Antonio, Texas, and then Atlanta in 96. So we've actually lived in the South longer than we've ever lived up north. But it was just primarily through jobs that got us here to Atlanta. That's another
story too. I'm not going to go into detail, but like Detroit, it seems like the cost of living would be very low right now because of land values and housing. And if you want to start a business like we're doing, the online business, it seems like you could do it from there. It's a very tempting. I've been a real estate investor for a long time and real estate broker and builder. And it's really tempting to go up there. I know people have bought large swatches of land, but it's been a tough investment up there. That's another story we could talk about that you've had experience with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot going on there. It's crazy. We have lots of family in the automotive industry, and just to follow Detroit, Michigan, and all of those struggles has been it's been tough for those folks for a couple decades.
Yeah, and maybe the new technology will bring them out of it, and it'll be a new kind of city. I know they're growing food inner city, things of that nature. But let me go on to the story, back to telemarketing. I've had a couple friends, and you probably have too, and one of them passed away because of a heart attack he had in his sleep. And his wife said the night before he was having some kind of pains and stuff like that. So he said, I'll just go to the doctor in the morning. A lot of us guys don't like to go to the doctor. It's a hassle. Well, if he would have called a teledoc, he'd probably be alive today. And it might be something as much of a stent or just cleaning out his arteries, whatever it might have been. But I can see tremendous use to be able to call and talk to people ahead of time and get the diagnosis.
Oh, absolutely. We have a personal story. Up here in Blue Ridge, we have teledoc for our office. We have 6 employees here. 5 of us have used it, by the way, already. Well, one of our employees is they have a child. They're adoptive parents, so they're kind of new to the whole parenting thing. Middle of the night, their child had a 103 temperature. They call teledoc. Teledoc said, get that child to the emergency room right now. So while teledoc resolves about 90% of the calls that do come in, it's a triage service on steroids, if you will. The doctor will say, if it's like to the story that you had that guy called and talked to a teledoc doctor, he probably would have sent him to the emergency room immediately.
Are they using FaceTime like on the iPhone? What are they using? Not just the phone call, but are they actually doing the pictures, things of that nature?
You can either talk to a teledoc doctor just on the phone, or you can do a consultation like this. They have, due to HIPAA compliance, they have a secure portal. So when you're talking to them, it's through their proprietary system.
So something on the phone, an app on the phone or something of that nature?
Yes, there's an app on the phone, or you can talk to them on your iPad, your computer, whatever is most comfortable for you.
Right. So we don't have much time left in this portion, but I do want to hit your success and life principles. I'd like to go into this in the next 3 to 5 minutes. And you have 3. And the first one is be a problem solver. What does that mean to you? And why is that your first success and life principle?
I was at there's a CRM that sales folks use called Salesforce.com. I went to a conference there a couple of years ago. You could just smell the testosterone in the air, everyone trying to outsell one another. And it was kind of it was an interesting dichotomy of kind of what my personal belief is: more low key, more consultative. No one likes to be sold anything, I don't think. But I think people will listen to folks who genuinely take an interest in what their problem or their issue at hand is. And they can quickly kick to the curb the folks who are just there to try to sell them something, versus someone who will listen to their interests, go back to their underwriting team or their internal operations team, come back with the solution that makes sense. That's kind of my hallmark for 25, 30 years, is to just really try to help folks solve problems, and I'm not trying to push product down their throats.
Very good, very good. And the second one is give more than you take.
Yeah, I've mentor, I've done lots of LinkedIn classes. Just genuinely, if you're genuinely wired to want to help people, regardless if you're going to get a dime or a dollar, if helping people just makes you feel good, like it does me, I think that's a great way to go about life. The paying it forward, whatever you want to call it. It's just a good way to live life.
So pay it forward also could be another secondary for give more than you take. Hey, you said LinkedIn classes. What's all that about?
I've helped folks over the years. It's funny when you talk to people and you talk about LinkedIn. I'm a LinkedIn nut. Oh, I'm not looking for a job, is what they'll say. It's like, no, LinkedIn, that's part of what LinkedIn is for. It's just a phenomenal tool to help you, especially folks in sales, to use as a prospecting, to find people. Like before you and I got on the line today, I was looking at your LinkedIn profile again. It's just, and to be able to show people how to connect with people, how to find people, how to use LinkedIn. Some people need it for jobs. As you know, you probably know, it's a phenomenal tool for job seekers. You find companies and see who you might know at that company that's hiring and help get a warm interview to the hiring manager. All the things that you will know. There's so many people that don't know this type of thing. So over the years, I've tried to meet with folks one-on-one, or I've even done sessions with up to 30 people in the room. Just kind of LinkedIn one-on-one
Very
stuff.
good. And when we're done with this, maybe when we go to the YouTube portion, I might ask you a little bit more detail about LinkedIn and how we all can improve our LinkedIn sites. Hey, we've got a question from Monty. Monty, we're going to get that question when we come back in the last portion of this Timelines interview. So the last one is, you say, take care of your health. And that makes sense. You're in the health marketing business and keeping people healthy. Take care of yourself. You're setting the example. But what does that mean in more detail? Take care of your health.
Well, as healthcare becomes, we're using healthcare a lot more. If you've ever looked at the CDC obesity maps that go back in 5 to 10 year increments, it's kind of scary to see where we're at today versus where we were, say, 10, 20, 30 years ago. There's so much demand for healthcare right now. I know a lot of folks in Florida who have parents there who can't access healthcare. You think it's hard to access healthcare maybe in rural Wyoming, but even in Tampa, and it's only going to get worse. There's not enough doctors coming in. If we don't take care of ourselves, which we can in these years, the more we take care of ourselves, the less we're going to need to use the healthcare system. I don't know about you, but I don't really. I'm lucky enough to go to the doctor once a year for a physical, and I know lots of folks who are going to the doctor all the time, and because they haven't taken care of themselves.
Well, I was a young military pilot, so I got used to taking flight physical every year. And I still take a physical once a year. I'm in the VA system now, 30 years active reserve. And I think that's part of my lifestyle is I do, I go through the basics. I do that preventive health care. And just that one checkup, I think, sets you in the right direction. And you implement it with some other areas like your telemedicine. And I think it's a great way to go. So we're running a little tight on time. I'm going to finish this section up. And we're going to come back with how the listener can contact you and one last question. And then we're going to go on to the fun part, which is when you open up on Blab and let people come in, ask questions, and maybe go in a little more detail about some other things and let it wander. But this is the podcast for Timelines of Success. Okay, Mark, wandering a little bit. It was a nice break, nice little discussion. But let me put a little pause in here again. I forgot to put a pause. It makes me find it a lot faster. Okay, Mark, welcome back to the last section. The first thing we're going to ask you is, how can the listener get a hold of you?
The easiest way to reach me is to email me. My email address. Do you want that? Or is that already?
Put out whatever you want to give the listener. Phone number, email, websites, whatever you want to give them. Yeah,
my email address is my name without the vowel. So that would be mrkblng@yahoo.com, or call or text me 770-888-8255. 770-855-7378.
Say that again.
770-855-7378.
Do you have any websites you like to promote?
The Teledoc website is a source of information. Our website is a good source of information about our program, as well as the bundles that we have. We have 3 bundles. They're very simplistic. We're not out to overload a bundle with too much information. So if you look at our website, which is lifestyleenrichprogram.com, and Lifestyle Enrich Program is all one word, .com.
Okay, lifestyleenrichprogram.com. And we'll have that link up. I'm going to drop that link up right now. That'll be on show notes at timelinesofsuccess.com. And on your episode, which is 209, not 2009, 209. And it's also going to be up on the Blab messages, which are really nice. You can find those in a couple different places. But if you just go to the Blab presentation, the links are on the right-hand side on the websites. They're wonderful things. And I'll send you the code, too, if you have a website you want to put up on. So with that, you actually did your little commercial, too. And we're going to go into more detail in the second part of this program, which is only on YouTube and only found on Blab and on the websites. But we always ask one last question. So on your one last question, usually I give you a chance to think about it ahead of time, but I didn't give you a chance.
Okay, Bill.
Okay, Mark, one last question. So where is your favorite place to eat? What kind of food do you like?
Well, Bill, after living in San Antonio for 8.5 years, we kind of became Mexican food snobs. And up here in Blue Ridge, a very small city, population of 1,500, we actually have 2 or 3 Mexican places, but one that just recently opened, the chef is from New York City. And I don't know how you go from New York City to Blue Ridge, but it's just phenomenal. So we're very lucky to have very high-end, very authentic Mexican cuisine right here in little old Blue Ridge, Georgia.
Very good. And you know, what you just said is how you go from New York City to Blue Ridge. I'm going to make a comment. Quality of life. I'd much rather live in the Blue Ridge than in New York City.
Yes. Well, it's funny you mentioned that. Wall Street Journal had an article about 6 months ago for people that want to retire in a mountain community. Of the top 10 places in the country, Blue Ridge is number 6.
Yeah, I'm sure the quality of life, affordability, everything's there. I'm sure a house doesn't cost an arm and a leg. That's one thing about Georgia. It's very reasonable. I lived on Tybee Island, Savannah, Georgia. Loved it. One of the most favorite places to live when I was in the military. So with that, we're going to finish up the program, but everyone stay on. We have listeners here on Blab, and we want to thank them for being here, but we're going to open up to the listeners. We're going to continue to record on YouTube and Blab, and it'll be up on the websites at timelinesofsuccess.com. We also have another place that goes up kind of on one of our experimental sites is ublabcast.com. And Mark, we thank you for coming on. Stay on for the questions, and we'll be back in a couple minutes.
Thank you, Bill.
Back on. Okay, Mark, we're up on the traditional Blab. We're opening it up, and any questions? I do have a few more questions. This is, we didn't really go into detail, but we like to find out like the entrepreneur side. How long have you been up there? You said you've been in sales for 30 years. What kind of sales did you do?
Well, I kind of have a background in Fortune 500 company, Aetna. You may have obviously heard of Aetna. Mm-hmm. Before that, I worked for a Midwest company, Wausau Insurance Company, based in Wausau, Wisconsin, about an hour from Green Bay. Mm-hmm. So most of it was on the corporate side. This is my first foray into being an entrepreneur. I'm having a lot of fun. You learn a lot of things along the way when you launch something. But as long as you keep learning from the things that don't work and continue to spend more time on the things that do work, again, it's a great time to be in the telehealth space. And I've got a great business partner, and we're having a lot of fun growing this.
So how did you get in the telehealth space? I mean, this is your business, your DBA, your company?
It is. It's really a means. We really target, there's 3 markets. Employers who don't offer group health insurance to their employees. They can't afford it. Those that have lots of part-time employees they wish to do more for. Mm-hmm. Those in high deductibles. A lot of people are stuck in these $5,000 deductibles. They never really get to use the insurance. Well, that's good and bad. but when they don't meet their deductibles, they always feel they're paying a lot of money, never getting to use it. So with this benefit, they're getting, it's what we call a first dollar type of benefit, where you're getting an immediate way to access the teledoc doctors.
Now, how about something like Kaiser Permanente, these big companies out here in the West? I don't know if they're in the East, the big health providers. Are they doing something like this automatically for their clients or for their patients?
The health plans, we'll talk about Kaiser in a minute, because their whole thing is to try to get folks into their clinics, and they've got a marvelous business model. But the carriers are embedding more and more, embedding telehealth into their service offerings. They usually have a copay, and we talked about that utilization before. It's low, and when you're communicating to members in open enrollment in the fourth quarter each year, there's so much information they get bombarded with. A lot of times they kind of forget about having a telehealth product. So again, our sweet spot is really the employer groups that don't have group health, but we've sold some deals with employers that do have group health. Again, they're the ones on the high deductibles. We're bringing in our no consultation fee model. They felt was of extreme value to their employees and family members.
Very, very good. Yeah, I see. So, so how is it going with the business? And also, we have a question up here, but I don't quite understand the question. Can you see that question? The role of going to the local Walgreens, CVS, EC, also for more testing, EC. I'm not sure what Monty was with us for a while. He comes in and out, and he asked that question from the audience.
Well, you know, the Walgreens, the CVS, they have the doc in a box models. They've had those for years. And maybe he was referring to that.
But is that 24/7?
They're not 24/7, but they usually have extended hours. It's just an easier way to get the primary care services. They'll do they even do some physicals there, I believe. It's probably about the same cost as a doctor's office visit, maybe a little bit less.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I wasn't familiar with that. I guess because I'm in a different system. I've been isolated in a system. That's one thing I noticed. I was 30 years active reserve, and going back on active duty, coming back and meeting up with some of my classmates who are a grade ahead of me, and seeing these guys who are in the military active duty the entire time, they're even more isolated than I am, not knowing what the outside world is like. Because they've been isolated. You know, they've been in a system with their family for, 20 some odd years at that time. So that's kind of interesting. So that's kind of where you're going. Tell us, I'm looking at your website. Have you created that? It's a landing page with a couple prices on here. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the telehealthcare preference. So you put a code in, and just securityenrollment.com. No agent. Oh, that's for an agent code. Is this for agents?
Yeah, that's where the agents would typically enter in their exclusive agent number to get the sales credit assigned.
So basically, an agent has to put a code in first to get through the system. This isn't a retail site.
You can bypass that.
Now, do you have to have a license to market this product? You have to have a license to market this. There's no agent code. Click here. Okay, at the bottom, I see.
Right. Yeah, unlike, this is not
Very
insurance.
nice.
This is not health insurance. Obviously, for health insurance, you do need an insurance license. This is a discount medical program. That kind of frees us up to offer this to part-time employees, 1099 employees. Some of the areas where health insurance is traditionally not available. So we have marketers who can offer this program, and they don't need an insurance license.
That's nice. I like your website. Like I said, we'll review that Saturday morning. I'll put that on the list, and it should get reviewed. But it's nice, and the more I know about it, it's nice and simple. It basically, it's a landing page with your program right there, and you don't have to go through a lot of different things, and just sort of word of mouth to get the information out. In this world that we're in, there's still a word of mouth means a lot. Just meeting people, talking to people, getting that relationship. And that's what we do on Blab, this Blab platform. I always like to see, how long have you been on Blab? Let's see, 7 days. It's a pretty powerful platform.
Yeah.
And Mike is up. Mike, you want to come up a little bit? How did you get to know Mike?
Well, Mike and I, my business partner, knows Mike. They're also they've known each other probably about 3 years or so.
No, almost
And as we were trying to get the Lifestyle Enrich program up and running with some, he said, hey, you need to talk to Mike Sheehan up in Ohio. And so I just reached out and started talking to Mike, I don't know, 6 months or so ago, about when we launched. And he and I have had lots of conversations about the program. Mike was here in Atlanta here a couple months ago and did a nice presentation on social media, Blab. And that he's kind of our connection for everything social media.
You know, I was looking at this and I was listening to some of the high-end folks talking, and I'm on this every day tracking it. And the affiliate account system is getting huge, and actually it's getting credibility. You know, it's funny. Some people early on were putting affiliate accounts into multi-level systems. And I think this reminds me, even though it's not, you know, the multi-level where you get an attorney similar for advice. That's out there too. But, we do have another question coming up, but I was going to say there's so many different ways, but I don't know, you might want to look at hooking in an affiliate account here. So people like myself could put this on our websites and get a small affiliate fee for promoting it, because it looks like a good program or something of that nature.
It's funny, Bill, you mentioned that, because Mark was just reaching out to me. We were just talking about that the other day, because the neat thing about this is you don't have to have an insurance license. So it really opens it up. So, yeah, we were just talking about that the other day. And I think Laura's question is good. And just for somebody who comes in the tail end, if you want to just give a quick overview of just Teledoc and a couple of the examples of, you know, how it's benefited you and what you've heard. I know just in Mike's office there's been a couple of times that the people have used it and to great success.
Absolutely. Laura, just quickly, Teledoc is the largest provider of telehealth services, primary care telehealth services in the country. Basically, what this is the ability to talk to a U.S. board-certified physician about things you might go to the doctor for, the minor emergency. It might be cold, it might be flu, it might be allergies. I'll give you an example. So last summer, I was out doing a lot of yard work. On a Tuesday, that Sunday, I came down with poison ivy. So took a picture of the poison ivy, uploaded it to the website for Teledoc, hit enter, and asked for a doctor to call me back. 8 minutes later, this is again on a Sunday afternoon, the doctor calls me, looks at the picture and says, yes, Mark, you've got a really nice case of poison ivy. She called in a prescription to the local pharmacy. I went and picked that up all in the course of about 15 minutes. So that's kind of what Teledoc is. This whole thing is called telehealth. And if you'd like some more information about it, feel free to message me after the session, and I can give you.
You want to drop your phone number, your messaging link down below. Put all that contact information in, so we have it on the records, and we'll be on the website too.
Okay.
On the right hand side,
I'm not sure where to do that, Bill.
Can you see all the little messages that are coming on the message board on the right side of your computer? Just drop it down below and hit return. And above, you can see sort of where people are watching from. We've got somebody down towards LA, the Bay Area, San Francisco, Northeast, and then down, you're the green dot right there in the Appalachians, and then somebody in Florida.
Hey, Mark, you might want to talk about, is this territorial? Does it make any difference where you live in the United States as far as this being beneficial to the individual and their family?
Great question, Mike. The beauty of this is you can use this anywhere in the country, 24/7, with the exception of Arkansas.
We can't use it. I can't go on the internet in Arkansas. That's right. I couldn't resist.
Now, if you're traveling through and you're going through Arkansas, just wait till you get to Tennessee, then you can call. But basically, the AMA in Arkansas has blocked telemedicine. We feel in time they will acquiesce that position, but for right now, Arkansas is the only state we can't. That telehealth services are not allowed.
Only state, all the United States. They can do what they want. It's the state's rights. Wow. Hey, Laura, good to have you on here. Love to have. Mark, by the way, I'd love to have people come up and ask questions, especially this part.
Yeah, and Mark, are they talking to a doctor in the United States and in their state?
They're talking to U.S. board certified. It's all onshore. These are all U.S. doctors. they're licensed in your state. So for instance, in my situation, I live in Georgia. When I needed that doctor, I clicked on, I'm a Georgia resident. And that way a doctor who's licensed in Georgia is going to be calling me. The doctor doesn't necessarily have to be boots on the ground in Georgia. They just, of course, have to have a Georgia license.
Go ahead, Laura.
And by the way, doctors.
I was just going to say, as a consumer and somebody who is also, well, I've been communications director for 2 very fine nursing homes, doing all their social media and stuff like that. But I'm now on Cobra because I've recently gone out as a startup myself. So Humana, it's through Humana, and Humana sent me an email saying something about this Teledoc thing. I took a quick look at it, and I thought, that's a damn good idea. Because, when you're on a weekend or at night, can you hear me okay, by the way?
You're fine. You're fine. Yes. If we get an echo, we'll fix it.
All right. Okay. Because I can, mic up.
No, you don't need to do that.
Anyway, I was thinking, what a tremendous thing when, you've got your choice basically during these off hours. Good luck just scheduling a quick appointment with your everyday physician, even if something happens, or you're concerned about something during the day. Yeah, sure. Our first opening is next week, right? But again, more importantly, during, I think, evening hours, I think it's really a good idea. I'd rather, no, they're not going to put a stethoscope on your heart. You're not going to take your blood pressure. But you can, as Mark, was saying, I think the idea of being able to send a photo, have the conversation, and go from there is a tremendous thing. And I suspect this is going to be a big part of the wave of medicine in the future. Otherwise, you're going for $50 to an urgent care center, and they can be all right.
100. I'm in Reno. I've got 2 girls who are in gymnasts, and we visit the urgent care from time to time.
Yeah.
Or even worse, avoiding an emergency room visit. Lord only, depending on where you live,
unless you have no insurance,
several $100s or more.
Yeah.
And then you're waiting more than the 8 minutes mark that you referenced at one point, right? For someone to get in touch with you.
Right.
Yes. Well, and it's, I have a home builder client, and we talked about our core bundle, which is this Teledoc. We have super strong prescription savings, and another benefit that allows you to email doctors, pharmacists, dentists, so you get feedback from professionals to help guide you to appropriate care, so you're not relying on Dr. Internet to go it alone. And he said, wait a minute, if I understand this right, the whole family can call Teledoc whenever they want for never a consultation fee. That's right, John. About half off on prescriptions. Yes, John. And they can use that other benefit where they're emailing doctors unlimitedly as well. He said for the entire family for about $10 a month. So do you realize I pay my employees more than that for 1 hour per month? And he said, why would I not buy this? They bought it for their employees. Like I said, he's a small home builder. They have 20-some employees. He's worried about turnover. He can't afford $500 a month for group health. He can afford $10, $11 for this core bundle. So there's a lot of folks who are really enjoying the simplicity and the.
Well, Mark, you might want to address too just the decrease in loss of work time because of Teledoc.
Absolutely. I saw a study the other day. It takes about 2 hours in total to leave work. You got to pick up the kids, go park, go into the building, sit and wait, see the doctor for the 5-10 minutes, pick up your prescription, go back to work. Then that on average is about 2 hours. You look at absenteeism. You look at if you're an hourly employee, you've got to punch out for 2 hours to do that. If you're a small business, if you're working in a restaurant, someone's got to cover your shift. If you're working in any entity, let alone restaurants, it's these small businesses. It's all hands on deck. It's tough when employees aren't there. And if you're seeking care right away, us rough, tough men will go days. Our arm could be falling off before we're going to go to the doctor. But if it's Saturday morning and you're starting to feel fluish or there's something else going on, if it doesn't cost you anything, why not resolve it right there? So Monday morning,
I can
you're not
possibly
bringing
even
something
get my
into the
husband to
office.
buy into this. Because getting to the doctor, ooh.
I like the idea that you can get subscriptions. The other thing too, if you were selling insurance, you could, if you somehow could tie this into the insurance package, it'd be nice too. Because I think, that could be a selling point or a sell, one of your sizzles or sell points.
Hey, Mark, you see, Roy had asked a question if you want to talk about the appeal of this to the young folks.
When you look at surveys, millennials, I don't know about you guys, but if I call my kids who are in their early 20s, they'll maybe pick up the phone. But, if I text them, boy, it's Johnny on the spot right back. Millennials we all know they love their smartphones. They would rather do things online. They're trusting of the internet. They grew up with the internet. It's very natural for them to embrace and use. They are using Teledoc and these types of services.
And are they able to get connection on their iPhone or on their Android or iPhone? They don't need.
Absolutely. I've got a Teledoc app on my Droid. You get into the program.
They would be able to download the app, so they don't even need the computer, and they'd have a dock in a box in their pocket.
Let me bail out, gentlemen, so somebody else has the opportunity to jump in.
Laura, before you bail out, thanks for coming on. I pulled up your Twitter site. I see you're a writer. Did I get that right?
Well, I'm an author. I'm also doing social media. I do a lot of video and stuff for small, mid-sized companies locally. Mm-hmm. And I've got a longer range plan. I've only started doing this all on my own now since September. What a learning curve that is. And, if I want to advise clients, for example, on whether something like Blab is appropriate, I can't do that if I'm not going to participate myself or Periscope or whatever. And, one of my questions or thinkings, in fact, was, would some of these businesses want to actually engage in something like Blab? And as I watch some of the more intelligent ones, like this show, I think to myself, yes, there is application for them, I think. There's apparently something called, I think it's Appeal or Appear.im. Yes, and apparently that's for private conversations. I don't know if Blab allows private or not, so that you can communicate. But again, having been so connected with the medical field, although not a medical professional myself, I can tell you with the way the Affordable Health Care Act is going, with trying to get doctor's appointments, trying to get Larry's up. Now we're talking about doctors who can even prescribe. You have the conversation. Obviously, if one of those doc in the boxes thinks that it's going to be too much for them and that you do need to go to the emergency room or something else, I'm sure they would advise you to do that. But Mark, before I bail, I hope you'll put the link to your site again so that I can open another tab and I'll be able to get on. But I want to get off so someone else has an opportunity.
Laura, just a couple of hints. We're always trying to improve Blab. I like Blab. I use it. That's my backbone of my business. I've been doing this for 2 years in some respect. And I've turned down a lot of money to do what I'm doing, to be a solopreneur, entrepreneur, of doing what I used to do. But one thing is, you've got a little bit of echo from time to time. And what I do, if I hit you like this, if I silence that, it goes away. So I know it's coming out of your site. Do you have a lot of other tabs open? Pardon me?
I should have put a microphone on.
Not necessarily. No, that's not necessarily true. Sometimes it depends on the computer. But do you have other tabs open right now?
Oh, hell yeah, I do.
I tell people when they come on Blab in the first morning, don't open a lot of tabs. Let me show you something that happens. Just a little demonstration here. If you go to new media, wait a second, that's not the word. New media. Let's see. New media, bold.com. This is like the worst case. What happens if you get other tabs open, or even worse, you open up other Blab tabs and you're watching them or looking at them? That's where the echoes come from, I think. But New Media Gold, if you hit that, that's a live feed from the show right now, and it'll really make it bad. I'm pretty sure.
I just scanned some stuff.
So I'm just saying that. But if you hit New Media Gold, I'm going to put it in right now. I just little learning lessons through after the show.
Got it.
This is actually being live feed on a lot of different websites. Some nonprofits today that I support. I've got 3 host providers, and I do some free work for nonprofits. But one thing is they get this live link, so whoever opens up that nonprofit gets to listen to this.
Well, this is great. You know why? Because on Thursday, I'm giving a presentation to a group of 25 to 40 individual nonprofits.
I just opened New Media Gold, and you can see that that's a live feed. But what's nice about that is they don't have to understand Blab. So that's one of my mini live feeds going out for the show right now. And if you're in social media, this goes out. I make a podcast. It goes out a lot of different places, and then Stitcher Radio, but plus YouTube, of course. But also, because of this little post to Facebook, I put it out on about 10 different Facebook sites and Twitter.
Yeah.
So it really gets a lot of exposure for not much effort. You just have to get good at it. Social media is kind of a unique environment right now. It's wiping out newspapers, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And you're down in Florida. See, I have no echo now. You're a lot better.
I am in Florida, and I'm cold. I'm always, cold inside the house because my husband has the air conditioner or whatever jacked up. And so we play that husband-wife game on the thermostat all day long.
And Mike has got his atomic fan going somewhere a little bit because I can hear that a little bit. I'm really critical on sound.
Fan is sure? Well, you know what? I take that back. That must be the computer fan because
that's where your sound. That's why you need to get. I don't have it here. You need to get either one of these or one of these and get it away and turn it like that and get it up close to you.
Oops.
You need to get
this. I got stuff here.
This is actually better than headsets. You get this, you get away from your computer, and you get it right here at this distance. I'm trying to do some mic discipline here. Now, in podcasting, we call them podcast snobbs. A lot of podcasters won't even let you close to your show unless you're using at least this equipment. The headset's the lower end, and somebody never used a computer. This costs a ripping $50 right here. It's USB, it goes right in. This costs $32, and you're done. You're done. And you've got your excellent professional. That's the difference between a professional and the sound business. And I think as this business grows, you'll see more and more people doing that. We make most of our money in business when we go out and interview local people in Reno, Nevada. My wife will take this over to them and hook it up and help them with sound.
Yeah, I think
Mike, where's you don't have a stand, do you? You have that little tiny thing.
I do have a nice microphone too that
you do
I've used, and I just slammed this on because I presume it helps at least a little bit.
No, it does. It does help. And since I use Adobe Audition, I can help out the sound because I go back out and I have some tricks I've developed over a couple of years to make better quality sound and to edit faster. But that's the only way I can do a daily show on podcast.
Yeah, everybody says that audio is more important than the visual.
It is.
When all is said and done. Now, if I'm doing an actual real video or something with my DSLR, I got it all set up and the lights and the stuff,
And since you're in that business, I'm always looking. One thing I love about Blab is, if this is where we learn how to do stuff, and we don't have to worry about protecting our secrets because there's just so much out there, and especially in your communities. You'll make more money going out in your community teaching people than you will. I mean, you can do this too, but the community where you live is where the money is because they know you, they trust you, and that's where you do your social media. But if you don't mind, how do you make your videos?
I've done them a number of ways. I am playing with Periscope too for the same reasons I mentioned about Blab. And those I've been just doing on my my iPhone. I don't know every little technical thing that's happening or how best to manage these. I haven't done that much. I've hopped on a number of Blabs by now. Big time suckers, by the way. And
yep, that's good.
But when I'm setting up videos, once in a while I'll set up green screen.
Mm-hmm.
And but what a pain that is, and the proper lighting, to get that. And sometimes I'll just set myself somewhere up in the house so that it, I can do it either way. And I've got a boom mic to pick up. I try to get to a spot, although it's difficult in this house that does not have tile.
Yeah, you don't want that hard surface.
Yeah, so. I do the best I can. They come out pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. Well, you can get pretty good pretty fast. Yesterday's show, we had a person who is doing very well with a local newspaper, and she's done this twice and moved from Chicago down to Atlanta, outside Atlanta. No, it was outside Atlanta, and she talked about that newspaper and going more into video. And actually, one of her vendors, the people who market with her, actually bought her a new higher end camera that she's buying, the DSL something 5500. But I'm working with real estate agents, and what I'm trying to do is I believe this, with the right tools, does just as well as that high end camera if you master.
Well, yes, and I have an iPhone 6S too, and I've used it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was working, for example, in those 2 nursing homes doing all of their stuff, mostly, and I've shot hundreds, and it's primarily been gun and run and it's me, myself, and I don't go in with special lights. I go in with my Panasonic bridge camera, which is fabulous.
What's that?
Panasonic bridge camera, meaning it's a DSLR, but you don't have to be hooking on. It's got an unbelievable zoom. So I will go in there usually not knowing what I'm going to shoot, what kind of lighting I'm going to have. I got the mic on, the external mic, and then I'm real big fan of show don't tell. So I'm not going to prop somebody up there. I've done those kinds, of course, but I'll run around because I want to get those elderly patients.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get staff people. I want to get engagement in a video. That I have found to be unbelievably effective. It tends to take more editing afterwards.
Yeah.
But they have been really good. Why? Because in the case of a nursing home or other negatively perceived industries, if you can show that, no, they're not all miserable here. They didn't just come here to die. They came here actually to live better. So, I learned a lot about that business and other negatively perceived industries.
If I can just jump in here, Bill, if we can just kind of tie a bow on the teledoc conversation here with Mark, because I think Mark has to go here in a little bit.
Take off. There's no problem.
If there was anything, Mark, you wanted to kind of add to kind of tie everything together based on what we were talking about?
Yes, stay on for a second, Laura. Okay.
No, I think we're good. Really appreciate the opportunity, Bill. Laura, if I can help you.
Mark,
in any way,
FYI, I know you're pretty new on this platform.
And,
what I try to do is I'm here every day at 9 o'clock
experience.
Pacific till 10:30. I think that's lunchtime until about 1:30 your time. And I love to do what we just did. After the end of the show, we'll talk and see where it goes. And I need to brief I'm actually doing a tutorial right now so people understand that we'll go up and we'll have regulars or other people come on and they share ideas how we can do better. Like even in your business, some of the things that Laura's talking about could possibly help you as you evolve. And we are going to, on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock Pacific, which 12 your time, we'll have WP Tonic, which brings the very best WordPress people in the world on. And afterward, they will go on and review some websites. I've got yours lined up to be one of the sites we review. But that's a fun show. And where else could I speak with people who are multimillionaires who made money with WordPress and learn? Oh, yeah, I'd love to.
That's amazing. And Bill, if you want to talk a little bit more about
look at my LinkedIn site and tell me real
later,
fast, where can I improve that?
And I can come
Let me
back.
drop it. What's the fastest way to drop a LinkedIn? Like I can go to LinkedIn here.
Just go to LinkedIn, and underneath your about a third of the way down, you'll see your LinkedIn link to your profile.
As long as one thing about my LinkedIn, I use LastPass, so I'm like right now it comes up to LinkedIn is always changing. It says improve your profile. So I'm going to my profile and it says your updates, edit your profile. Do I want to go into edit my profile?
No, well, not for what
right
you want.
At the bottom of edit your profile is your LinkedIn address right there. I know I found it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to drop that in. And Mark, look at it for 2 seconds, if you don't mind. And Laura, stay in contact. I'd love to see how you're doing and you're evolving because I started doing my first interview was Earl Conrad from Guadalcanal, The Greatest Generation. He's 96 in good health. It's a wonderful interview. And I thought everyone should go out and get the new generation. The Greatest Generation, interview these guys and find out, and girls, and I guess women and men, and get this history down. I got into this too because the Army sent me back to anthropology school, and one of my projects was to do research. So I just pulled you. I got that LinkedIn. Tell me about. Oh, he's taken off. I guess
You did.
He just took. Oh, Mark's back.
I'm back.
So I just put LinkedIn. I put my address in there, so you can hit that. Put my LinkedIn address. Now that was the only thing the military would let me have for social media at one time.
Okay.
So it's sort of just a goofy collection of stuff. I haven't really organized it. I probably should streamline it. What would you say I need to do on that thing?
I'll take a look at your profile and offer you a couple suggestions. Well, it's a nice profile. It's a little lengthy. You might want to consolidate some of your past travels.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'll take a look through it and send you an email here later on.
How do you like that first summary? I got myself and Senator Obama shaking hands with my pistol on my side.
Okay.
In Afghanistan. Went to see a warlord with him. I set up the warlord engagement.
Wow.
I told them not to go, but they didn't listen.
Okay.
I told I have civil military operations for the area, and it was a big group of people that set it up, but I would not have recommended him see this warlord. The guy killed 2,000 people.
Wow.
Bad
and
guy.
I know we need to talk too. It sounds like from our emails of Sunday night, we know someone in common that you might have served with.
Yeah, very possible. So anyway, you look at that. If you have any ideas, so just make it tighter, tighten it up. I've got something called a Resumex. I really have. It's sort of eclectic. It's sort of just bits and pieces. I'm sure there's a lot better ways. And LinkedIn has really come a long way. I know that.
Sure has. I'm glad to do that, Bill.
Okay, well, thanks. Appreciate your time. Good luck with your business, and stay in touch. Anytime you want any information or a question, come up in the morning, especially Monday through Wednesday. We have different shows. Mike and I are doing a show on Saturday now. Not Saturday, but Friday.
Friday.
And it actually, I was really concerned about the name, but it looks like it's going to do okay. It's on the same time, and it's called Weekly Scam.
Weekly Scam.
And by the way, that's sort of one of my test products, Weekly Scam. That's developed by me, the website. I developed the child theme. And so I've learned this over years, and it's a real quick child theme. And the theory there is just how do you bring social media together? And that's what we've done with this theme. And we need to tweak it out so we have like landing pages, things of that nature. But it's it's one of my.
That's a great topic. I might jump in on that this Friday and at least once in a while. We're
going to talk about fishing. One of the topics, and then the second half, Mike's got to find something positive to talk about.
Fishing with a P.
Fishing, yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Fishing.
I was going to say, well, I'll pass on that one, but
I've thought about on the fishing. I've thought about I'm going to explain to people how they can trust their bank online without getting scammed. Yeah, because when you
I've had my identity stolen, so yes, not by that.
And I know Mike's not using LastPass yet, but we got to get him up. We got to get everybody up on LastPass.
Or 1Password.
Or 1Pass. 1Pass is, if you want to spend the money, 1Pass is better than LastPass. But LastPass is really changing a lot, though.
No, 1Password. That's the one I use.
Yeah, 1Password. You're right. It's no. I'm from. That's the most early one. And, and for me and my family, we went to LastPass, which was less expensive. But LastPass used to be more complicated, but now it's a lot easier. So, but everyone needs LastPass or 1Pass. Especially if
any something, yeah. I've got hundreds and hundreds of accounts that I'm logged into and various things. I don't need them all over the place.
In fact, I got a call while we're at. I got to call back a businessman who called me during my show. It shows he doesn't even care. He doesn't understand that I have a daily show. People should know here locally, and I helped him. He hired a company in India for $800 to build a merchant account. And then he didn't own his domain name. It took us a year to get his domain back. I showed him it took it, but we did get it back. I've got him over on GoDaddy or my site, just pointing that domain site at another person to build the site. So he's the only person that can, I teach him how to point it. But but it's amazing what I see out there in this online business is changing so much. Now I just have to figure out how to make some money. That's the problem you could solve, Mark. You got to figure out how to make a living so I don't have to go back to work. I've got girls who are 13 and 15. I've got a military retirement, which is not bad, but it's about half of what I need.
Well, one of my suggestions is going to be to put a link to my website on your LinkedIn profile. Just kidding.
No, but if it works, you have to have an affiliate account, though. I can take this down now.
Sure.
But
okay.
Anyway,
Thanks,
All right,
everyone.
Mark. Hey,
Hey,
your
Mark,
show
we'll
will
talk.
probably be on 3 or 4 hours on iTunes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Stay on for a second, Laura. So tell us a little more. You got that camera. How long have you been doing that?
What I've been describing?
Yeah.
Oh, probably for about 6 or 7 years.
Well,
Now, I freelanced once before, so that's how I kind of got into it. And then, back-to-back nursing home work as communications director. And that just basically, meant doing everything. And so a lot of shooting. If they were going to have an event, I wanted to show people having fun. I did a lot of, the how-tos are very popular.
Mm-hmm.
So I did one, for example, for one of them, how to wash your hands properly, jammed into a little ladies' restroom with a nurse. She went through it. I got her. And that thing was probably responsible for more than half the views on that one particular YouTube channel, which is not too shabby. No, it's not viral, but there's tremendous interest in stuff like that. Again, I'm sorry, Mark had to go, but
if you don't go away. I got to refresh, but I'd like to ask you a couple more questions if you don't mind. By the way, your picture is very good.
Okay.
I always like to find. We're trying to make this platform even better. What we're on right now. It's a tremendous platform. Like I'm working on Mike. See, we're getting the sound down. I worked on Jonathan Denwood. I've been doing a podcast with him for 2 years. Mike knows Jonathan.
Well, see the background behind me. That's a bedroom. I have in my office there. I have just like nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So I've got lights all lamp lights just as best as I can do. I'm not really this red. In fact, I'm usually quite pale.
You probably. My wife is Irish Catholic. Irish from North Boston. She's 3/4 Irish. Her dad's 100% Irish, and she's got that famous Northeast complexion. That same color hair you have. Strawberry blonde, I think she calls it. I'll be right back. I got to refresh real fast because
Laura, you brought up a point there, and sometimes we get all wrapped up in the fear of sharing information on these types of platforms because we feel we're not an expert or that we don't have some high-level techie stuff to share. And, that's part of, the show that we're doing with the Weekly Scam is really to help the average person because, there's a lot of people that are the, top 1%. Or top 5%, and they're sharing content, and and it intimidates people. And I said something like you said. I bet there's a lot of people that can benefit from some just simple things that you would be sharing on your videos. You mentioned as far as the correct way to wash your hands.
Unbelievable.
If I had to do it again, I would probably put more effort into creating small videos. And then do you use ScreenFlow or something like ScreenFlow to edit?
I use a combination. I sometimes use iMovie, which is in its current state much better than it used to be, and I will use ScreenFlow. ScreenFlow has so many audio components, but they're not made for the regular person, so I don't know what the hell they are. I can look at those, and I have no idea what adding that action might do.
There's a lot to ScreenFlow. It's a powerful program for $100.
Yeah, so I use it, but then because of that, I'll occasionally take it when I'm done and I've exported it, after pumping up the various frame rates and all that stuff. And I'll import it into iMovie, believe it or not, because I can control that sound better then. And
so you make it a ScreenFlow and then you import it into iMovie?
Not always, but there have been occasions I've done that. Sometimes I just use.
Can you split the track when you do that? I mean, ScreenFlow, I've been working on ScreenFlow a while. And I'll tell you, I've been trying to make a digital course. And, it's funny, the stuff changes, so you got to get out there fast.
Oh, brother, yeah.
And then, but it's really tough to make a good digital course to do it right. I mean,
I think it would be, yes. I haven't tried that yet. And then one of my longer term goals is to do that.
Then you've got learning management systems, and you've got, first of all, you got WordPress to understand. You have to understand membership sites, and then you've got learning management, LMS.
Okay, now you're hurting my brain.
Those three things is what you have to know.
See, Laura, that's what I was just talking about,
Well, no, you've got WordPress. You got to learn WordPress. You've got to understand, or contract it out, which can be expensive. You've got to understand membership sites, plugins on WordPress, or some kind of what we call, this is what I've learned from being with these gurus, is the SaaS, software as a service, where it's a sort of a hybrid. And then you have to understand LMS, learning management systems, which is how you present those courses to people. So the membership side is how you make the money. The learning management system is how you put together your course. So you get.
Well, I'm much a newbie that here. What I did, I had my current website. I have two, one for the books and then one for
put it down if you don't mind. Drop your website in. And
this
by the way,
was
you're
built
welcome
in-
to come on and do a timeline interview. I'd love to have you on because you're in the business. And I like how you're niching down to homes, senior homes.
Yeah, and I'm hitting, I've done some filming of doctors and so forth. And that was built in Wix, pretty down and dirty. Now I'm seeing its limitations. So I'm actually currently in the process of taking a course from Christina Hills about WordPress. It's a very intensive course, paid a pretty good penny for it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm going to convert that site into WordPress so I can better manage and get the proper plugins that aren't available through Wix.
Do you have a WordPress site up right now?
No. I have both my sites are built in Wix.
Right. I'm just saying that what you probably should do is just sign up for WordPress now and start playing with it by a low end either. I'm going to put my link in here. This is what I'm evolving to, but my resources link. And if you want, you can always call up and ask me questions. I'm evolving a different kind of, that's one of the courses I'm working on is to bring people through that process. But on this, you have to have, the first thing you have to have is a domain, of course. And you usually get a free domain from one of the sites, but I have,
I've got domains.
I have 3 websites, and I believe that you should ideally keep your main domain somewhere else and then point them at your host server, and only you control those domains, no one else. But I've got Bluehost, SiteGround, and DigitalOcean. What I really strongly believe that Bluehost is okay. It's a U.S. provider out of Salt Lake, and it's hooked into it's owned by about 15 different ones. But SiteGround is in Chicago for U.S., but it's actually a European company. And they just do really well. They cost just a few cents more, but they're so much easier. And
well, I'm currently hosted on a Fat Cow, which I have put clients on.
Okay, do you have?
And I adore it.
Can you put WordPress on it? Fat Cow.
Oh yeah. In fact, yes, they absolutely support it.
If you like Fat Cow, you stick. That's your domain host provider.
Yeah, I built it in Wix.
Wow, $49 a year.
And then. But I'm having it hosted on Fat Cow.
Yeah, you understand then.
Human beings answer the phone to anybody almost instantly, and they'll stay with you.
Yeah, you want, and you'll have a
it is for me.
You can probably upload right there. You can probably go in yourself, do even WordPress, do a real simple WordPress install, and get up and create just a WordPress blog site, and then start.
Well, I might do that, but right now I'm immersed in this pricey course I took from someone who is, very well known for her WordPress skills. She does the course is phenomenal. So I'm plugging through it and her modules and stuff as I have time. As you know, as a startup, I'm trying to deal with clients. Occasionally my personal life, which has gone downhill since I became a startup myself.
It's hard work. It's hard.
It's hard, and you make missteps. But if you don't make some mistakes here and there, how will you learn? Why do you think I called my website Ever Onward? Because I am for saying Ever Onward. And I realize I say this all the time, and I thought, okay, there you go. That's what you're going to do.
Yep.
And we'll see what kind of reach I get. I got to build my email list. I have so many things.
Let me look at your website.
Hey, Bill, I just jumped out for a minute and came back. Did we answer Loud Radio's question there?
No, we didn't. We're going to go back to that. By the way, Laura, I just want to say something. I think Wix is fine. It seems to work. But what do you think the limitations are for Wix right now?
Well, I found one, for example, when I was doing the nursing homes, I had to build their websites at one point. I don't remember what I used. But then I used something for them called Crazy Egg. It's a heat map program. Love it. And so I thought, well, I'm going to put this on my site too. And guess what? You can't do it on Wix.
Yeah,
there's some other things you cannot do on Wix because they won't allow you to add either JavaScript. They won't add. They'll only allow a certain type of thing, and that's where I realized there's the flaw. They can make pretty, but they can't do that. Well, and I've not had enough time to tend the thing anyway, so I might as well convert it since I'm now trying something new with my life.
Wix is a great thing for what you've done. It's easy. It works for most people, but if you really want to build that premium website someday, you have to start learning WordPress. Because WordPress,
well, I am
is
learning it. That's what I'm saying.
I know you are. I'm just telling folks out there because WordPress.
Yeah,
that's what I found. I started with WordPress after I was HTML years ago, but WordPress still is challenging to make those pretty sites. You really have to be careful, and you have to be careful what themes you use, things of that nature. You have to really do your research because you don't. There's that one problem with WordPress is there's a million different paths to go. And anyway,
well, that's important to know. No, and I'll tell you what I'm going to watch out for is I don't need something really, really pretty. I need something functional, easy to navigate. That's how that's what I like on a website. I don't need all these big fat images that take up the whole, front half of your
the modern themes.
When I put my WordPress together, I wanted the simplest template.
Yeah. Hey, let's Loud Radio. What is he saying there, Mike? And then we'll stay on for another 10 minutes. By the way, Laura, I put a link in there. I think I did. Yeah, it's called. Make sure I got the link. Netcasting. Sure. No, it's not. Well, let me double.
The resources I'm going to put a
link into Timeline's interview. You're welcome to come up in Timeline someday. I do 3 interviews a week. Just entrepreneurial interviews, sort of like we had today.
All right, that would be me.
And then we do specific shows. They're all on iTunes too. And then we do. I'm trying to find. Let me get links here. So if you go to Timelines of Success, you go into the links tab. By the way, this is on Bluehost, which is my weakest domain provider, but it's one of my very first ones, and it's one of the second site I ever built. And I got lucky because I use Genesis and Dynamic, and because there's a pretty good company here in Reno who took me under their belt and said, go with Genesis for my framework, which is complicated. That'll make your head spin when you start talking about this stuff. This is my own child theme I built. And that's why I'm lazy. I reproduce the same thing and I build on it, but I can make it prettier. But that's I thought I just stuck the website. There it is. Timeline. You can just click it. You can click that website right in the thing, and it'll bring up where you go to start filling out stuff. But it's 100%. For the most part, it's 100% me. One other thing I found is these high-end developers and programmers. They're nice guys, and they'll tell you one thing at a time. And I'm around them all the time, but you've got to pay them big bucks if you want them to go in there and work on your sites. That's why it's best.
Yes, indeed.
So, well, thank you, Laura. Mike and I are going to finish up the show here today.
Yep. I'm going to bail. Gentlemen, thank you for your time. I didn't mean to be here.
No, we appreciate it. So long. It's people like you who make it really interesting.
Helped me learn a lot.
I'd like to talk to you more about that camera and the photography and stuff and which camera you have. She talked about the Panasonic, but that's good. So that's where you learn. You learn so much from people like that. Holy smokes.
So yeah, Bill, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe you might be better able to ask that question.
That'd be better. You know what?
We have another question in there too.
I don't know if we want to do it Loud Radio, which is Loud Radio 1. Let me see what your first site looks like. But if you'd like to come up and explain it, that would be easier. But let's look at that question because I'm always looking at ways to try. I want to continue to do this, and to do this, I have to figure out a way to make about
that's what I think he's referring to is making some money with a platform for some of these live broadcasts. And then we have another question over here too about the equipment that you're using.
Yeah, again, everyone, Mike has got the same thing. You should really ask Mike what he's using. Just buy this. I mean, there's one that's right above this. It's $30 more. This is $52 on Amazon. It's got everything you need to use this. Yeah, the ATR 2100. This is a stand like this for $32. It's one of the least expensive. This stand right here, this costs like over 100 something. But this one is more flexible, and this is what you use. It's a kickstand. And I always stick it on here because I get my ripping 4% from Amazon. Plus, I got to keep my Amazon account going or they shut you down.
It adds up.
It does. But the other thing too, it's happening right now. Let me go to my Amazon account. What's happening right now is affiliate marketing is really starting to grow. You can actually make a living if you focus at just doing. There's 7 or 8 ways to monetize a podcast and a website. And affiliate marketing by far is the number one way. The second way is local ad dollars, just from people in your community. Start a local talk show, interview people in your city or town, and you will get some. You can sell marketing. It's pretty amazing. Those are the 2 ways. It's not a ton of money. It's a lot of work. If I want to get rich, I do what I used to do, which was civil military operations in the Middle East. but that's kind of hard in the family. And I really like this platform. Let me go into, if you go into Timelines of Success, you go and hit the resource tab. It'll take you into Netcasting 101, which is it's called DigitalOcean. That's being hosted on a separate site, and it's super fast. So here's Netcasting 101 resources. And if you go down in resources, you just go down and it says Netcasting. And I should probably put this at the top because by far the most asked question is there's two things I recommend. The ATR 2100 for $50. And there's a link there. It's $52 actually. And the second one would be the ProLine MS11 desktop boom mic. And they're on there. And if you get just to those things and plug it into your desktop or computer, you can get away from your fan and you just talk into it. Mike, you're using, I forgot, you're using just the computer screen.
No, I was just looking. It's the Logitech.
I've got that on there. The 930 or 920?
Yeah, the 920.
Yeah, the 920 is good.
Audrey one. I think it's Audrey. Let me see. Let me look.
You don't need it. You can use your laptop.
Audrey, it was the Logitech 920 is the camera. I just plug it right in, USB into my phone. That is on
my list too. That's on the list too. That's the third one down. The Logitech HD Pro webcam 920. Some of the other things I have is the Rode mic. You don't need that unless you're using the iPhone.
Right.
Lighting kit.
Yeah, the other neat, you see all these wires, but this is what I use on my phone, which is the ATR 3350, and it plugs right into my iPhone and works.
Does it have a little battery on it?
Yeah, there is a battery that goes in here.
Let me put that up. I want to put that up real fast. ATR
ATR 3350. Yeah, it comes with the battery. So, I mean, it was all packaged.
I'm about to buy an extension for my mic because what we do is my wife's real estate company. We're trying to do more field work.
I got that from Audio Technica. I mean, here, and this is really good if you're doing videos on your phone and you're pointing it away from you. This really, you're talking behind your phone. That really gives you great sound.
How long is that cord on the ATR? And it's got a little battery pack in it too. Which
I've never extended it all. I'd say at least 10 feet.
And you could put two mics on it too, right?
Huh?
Comes with one lavalier.
Yeah, one lavalier, and then it also gives you where you can plug in headphones, but I've never used it for that.
It's got a splitter, so you need another level. Oh, a headphones go on the other side. Okay.
Yeah. No, I've never used it, but if again,
to monitor the sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice looking little tool there.
It's been really simple to use.
Drop that in for my own record. See, I dropped this in. See, we have another question there?
Loud Radio asked, kind of, I guess in regards to monetizing the live video stream, I think. So I don't know if you want to jump in and ask that question.
The only thing I can think of, you could do local commercials, but to tell the truth, I get a few people watching this locally, and it's all you have to do. It's on websites. Anybody that stumbles into some of these other websites, see how we have a +4 up there, +3? A lot of those people are watching via the website. They click on the website because they don't have accounts. So, and I've got, the more places I put it, the better. And the other thing too is, like I said, this goes out on a podcast to 3 or 4 different providers, like from Stitcher Radio to SoundCloud. iTunes is a big one. This goes out this afternoon, and that helps too. Those are the biggest numbers, and they lead people back to the websites. But I've got like 10 or 11 sites that we post to on Facebook. They're groups and pages, business pages. And that's good too. I think that's better than Twitter to some extent. And the only thing that gets SEO is not your personal page, but is your business page. So it gets a little bit of SEO if it's done right. And you put some words in there. But anyway, Mike, I'm going to talk about tomorrow real fast. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock Pacific, 12 o'clock Eastern. Be up with another one. And I'm going to drop
a link. You have a link?
Yeah. Well, if you go to Timelines, you'll find more about it. But if you notice this week on Timelines, I started, come on, Timelines. Bluehost, I've got Bluehost, SiteGround, and then DigitalOcean for providers. And DigitalOcean is my really high-speed business page. But I have Bluehost as my original page, which is my blog for this Timelines of Success. And I've got a lot of stuff on there, and it's by far my worst provider. But it's a good place to start. Anyway, I'm going to go on. If you go to links on Timelines of Success, you go into the second tab. It's the weekly show schedule. I made this every Sunday, and it's the quick and down and dirty way for people to get there. Now, let's finish up. Let's talk a little bit about the interview today, which I really enjoyed. You learn from everybody. But you can tell Mark is still relatively new to this social media streaming online stuff like we're doing. He probably doesn't listen to podcasts.
I mean, that was his first Blab. He's only been on Blab like 4 days ago, which was us making sure everything was working correctly. Which, just as a sidebar, when and I'm sure Audrey knows this, that when you do change out to a new mic or to a new camera, you have to make sure you've updated your
command line, your
command line, because it won't show up. And you have to
you should do this before every show.
You kind of have to turn off refresh. So, because I've had people say, "Hey, I just hooked up, I just switched over to my mic and it doesn't work." Well, you have to refresh or close out and come back in.
Mike, can you hear this?
How about me? Can you hear that?
Yeah, you always do this. Hey, the other thing, how far are you from your mic? I'm going to try to get some discipline here. We want it about this distance. I want a 45, and I want this distance.
I'm less than.
Put your fist like this. Put your fist.
Yep.
And it's
right.
Stick out your thumb. You're still almost too far. With the ATR 2100, they want it at a 45 to 30 degrees, an angle like that, and you change the pitch of your sound so you can find out where you like your voice the best. And a lot of people still say this and this are really close to each other. This is a $52 mic. This is a $330 mic. A lot of really good, famous podcasters still use this $52 mic.
Yeah. I
mean, it works. This is just, I don't know. We just have to have it, I guess.
Well, it looks fancier.
Yeah. You also you have to have, you can't just plug it in your computer either. You have to have a mixer or a Scarlett 2i2.
Because my the other one, my 30 was a 2500. I can just plug this one in,
yeah,
but
2500 podcasters hate the 2500.
It picks up too much side noise.
Yeah, it's a condensing mic. Problem with that is you have to have a room that's quiet. Now I'm gonna
right.
I'm gonna go right into editing now. I do want to figure out, hey folks, I'm still in this business too. I'm trying to figure out how to make $5,000 a month. Maybe I'll get there. I think the number one thing I need to do is actually get my digital courses done. And that's hard. Mike does it in insurance, and we have real estate too. My wife makes some money. We used to make a lot more money in real estate, but we moved. So,
Laura, there you go. It's the ATR 2100 Audio Technica. You can order it through Amazon.
Yeah, better yet to go to my link so I get my ripping 4%.
Well, yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, go back up to Bill's link.
Go to my link.
You get 4%,
and then order it, and then just hit the link, keep the link, and I get my ripping. And the other thing too is I'm trying to build the affiliate up. I teach folks. I've got this call from this business guy. He actually is a farmer who makes a machine to feed horses automatically. And he's trying to do it online, and I've already recovered one. So, all right, folks. So we'll see you tomorrow. Well, here's tomorrow's show. Here's the schedule. I should look him up. I can find out what he's about in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I just clicked on that Sincast here. I'm just looking at a little bit that it sent over. Looks like it said summer of 2016. So
well, June.
Something that One Loud Radio sent over.
Let me talk. And what is it?
It looks like what he's talking about let me open it again.
One Loud Radio, come up if you want to and tell us about it. I love when people you can talk.
Thincast will change the way you broadcast. You don't want to miss out on this opportunity to monetize your live broadcast. So
I'd love to do that. Let's figure out how to do it. Is it Zencast?
Yeah, but it's on a Wix site. So it's called Zyn, Z-Y-N. Yeah,
I've heard of Zencast. I can't remember it right now. I've talked about it. Zen's been around for a while. Hey, tomorrow we've got, I'll probably murder his name, Michael Lejeune. Oh, you know who Michael is? This is great. Michael found me on a Blab. He works he's a coordinator in a 911 center, and he's also the public spokesman for his community and city. So he's really interested in this Blab platform. He's going to come up and do a timeline interview, and he say, take care of your people, be patient, be confident. So we can't talk politics, and we can't talk too much marketing, I don't think, but we can learn about 9/11. I'm going to put his link in here. There's his link, and I'm going to actually look at the website before we go, so we have it. That's tomorrow's show. By the way, this is so much fun doing this. I've interviewed congressmen and in my community and city, the mayor, and it's a blast. Well, I haven't even done it on Blab though. Man, I got a cough. When I cough, I just put it in the site. No.
You're muted.
Michael does not run the 911 center. He runs federal contracting. I just pulled up my notes. So he has federal contracting he's working on, which he's made a lot of money at the right time. It's dried up a little bit now, but he'll be on tomorrow. I'm looking forward to having him on. And we always want to think, hey, there we go. We see
we got 6 people on the listening offline here.
Yeah, that's a lot of them come from the websites too, because I'm embedded in the website, so they listen online. And if they're pulling up the Republican Men's Club right now, because that's one of my nonprofits that we support here, they're having a big luncheon today, so they're probably, what's going on? I'm hearing all this noise come. And let me look real fast. Today's show is iTunes right now. We have this in here. iTunes, we have Pat Murray, who is up today on iTunes, first place. I'm going to stick Pat's link in. So I say, hey, Pat, she did a really nice interview yesterday, and we hope Pat comes back on.
She was, wait a minute. I think she's on right there.
Yeah, she was on yesterday, so I want to put her. Yeah, there she is.
No, she's listening. She's listening right now.
So there's Pat's link to her podcast, and you can actually go up on iTunes and listen to it. We've done that.
She's lurking. She's lurking.
Yeah. So, it's funny. I've done a little research, and I think if I was smart, I would start this show at about 2:00 Eastern, as opposed to when we started, because we see a lot of people come on in the afternoon on East Coast time, on the West too. I think they get burnt out and they want to listen a little bit at work, or it might be. Well, anyway, we will be up tomorrow. Tomorrow will be about federal contracts, and we'll be up on iTunes in a couple hours with the day show. But tomorrow we'll be live about how to get a federal contract and how do you work with the government. And there's, I've been around the government for a long time. I still haven't figured that out.
I was going to say, do you have
let me before we leave, let me get you up to at least 300, Mike. And I'd like to get up to 700 or 400.
All right, hold on.
I can do myself too.
I was talking here. This is totally unrelated to everything we're doing here, but people might get a kick out of it. I'm doing a fundraiser at the high school, and I was online here. It's called Knockerball. If you go on YouTube and look up Knockerball with a K,
put it in there.
These are humongous. They're humongous plastic balls that you get inside of. Oh yeah, and you basically bounce against each other, and it's under the premise of kind of a soccer game, and we're doing it as a fundraiser. And the guy that we're getting the.
Have you ever seen the Russians go down the ski slope in them?
No, I've not. We're doing it inside in the gym. So
they go down a ski slope, and the guy goes off the left side. He goes off the ski slope.
Oh,
down
man.
a cliff.
Yeah.
Hey, before we leave, if you're doing Knockerball, do you have any links or something to promote?
Hold on. Yeah, just keep talking. Yeah, they're easy enough to find, but it's the same thing. It's pretty neat, and the kids are pretty excited. So we're doing it, and I was able to find somebody locally that was I guess a franchisee, I guess you would call it.
I'm putting the very first one in I found here, and you can put one in too. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. No, it's the kids I think are gonna love it. But so depending on where your town is, it's relatively new. I mean, we're going to be the first ones in this area that are doing it.
Do me a favor, go ahead and take some video of it. We'll put it up tomorrow.
Northeast Ohio, but yeah, he's going to bring over some of the couple of the balls, and we're going to use it as kind of a promo, leading up to the event. So, because once the kids see it, because we're going to do it in a kind of a tournament setting. So, so we're going to have kids sign up for teams. They're going to pay a fee for a team, and that's where we're going to make our money from the fundraiser. And then, we're doing it March 12th. But yeah, so you can check out those. It looks like looks like we sent the same one, but yeah, it's pretty neat. Pretty neat.
Hey, do me a favor. Mike is my right-hand man. He comes up whenever he can. He tells me to record and keep stuff going. Anybody who I've interviewed or knows me, has been on the program, has got some credibility. I mean, not that you don't all have credibility, But love to have two people up at the same time. It makes it so much easier. So much easier. Doesn't it, Mike?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And we can talk, we bounce stuff off and bring a third person up to talk. And when you, like, if you have a question, it's so nice. I mean, sometimes you can't. It's so nice if you just come up and talk. And we're not worried about sound in the back half of the show. We record it. But we have any other questions? I've been trying to get
no, I just seen that Robin had jumped in here. Robin had jumped in, so.
Yeah, Robin's steady out there. And then also we want your input because you're like our think tank up there, our brain mind on this. We want any scams or anything we see out there to be brought to our attention so we can start stacking them each week. We want to find out what the scams are online. We'll put the websites down. And
I'm going to put that in here again here. So anybody wants to jump in our and share our show on Friday would be greatly appreciated. And
you know what? I got the link. I just shut down that link. Crazy me.
Oh, there it is.
Let me go back up to the link. If you look at the schedule, I can put the for Friday. So if you go to timelines, you go to weekly schedule. I'll stick this in here again. But
isn't
anyway,
that it? Isn't that should be?
You know what I need to do? I need to build a place where people can just drop in the scams for us to look at. You know, on the website on that.
Right.
But here's the. I'm going to drop in the website. It's called the Weekly Scam. Talking about weekly scams. This is my product that I'm developing, the Weekly Scam, not the Weekly Scam itself, but the framework. And it's just a really simple down and dirty child theme I created to build a website really fast. And then to hook in all the social media. And there's sort of a little technique to it. But I put that up in one afternoon and one evening with Mike. And that's our Weekly Scam. We got one show on there now. It's on iTunes too. And it's kind of fun. But everything ties together. But so, you know what I need to make on there? I need to make a places, tell us your weekly scam or something like that. I'm trying to think how I should do that. I guess I need to make a block down below. But the more I'd love to link to websites that are just scammy too.
Well, too. I mean, we have the Facebook page. Hey, Rob.
Yeah, Rob the Facebook group. Everyone go. If you go to the Weekly Scam, you can hit the Facebook, and that's an open group. That'd be a great place to drop your scams. Great idea, Mike. I'm going to drop the page in here right here, and I'm going to eventually get the name for. There's Rob.
Hey, Rob.
What's he doing out there? Haven't seen him for a while. I thought he
Well, he's probably been under snow. He's probably been covered under snow from a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's fighting the bureaucrats right now.
Yeah.
Up in D.C. He's back. We haven't seen him for a while. He disappeared. And we missed him on we had a good Meet the Voter on Sunday night. That was a good one. It's good. This is really exciting times in politics. So let's see if there's new people in the Weekly Scam site. We need to build more people in that site. We really just started it. But yeah, that's the group. So we got 3 members right now in the group. Hey, folks, we got 3 ripping members in the Weekly Scam group. I'm going to drop this in here. That's okay. I think about Rob every time I look at his wonderful artwork on Friday. We had Heather was on. Oh, happy Blake. Is it Rob's birthday? Did we miss his birthday? I got some messages on here. You know, one thing, I'm getting a lot of people being my friends now on Facebook. I got one message here. Hi, Bill. So, no, we do need to build up that site. But if no one else wants to get up and say hi, and everybody up there, we'd love to people to come up and say hi.
We'll give them 5 seconds because, I'm going to roll here too because we've been on since.
Hey, if you can tell me how to get rich, I'd love to know how. And then check out Weekly Scam on Friday. So I'm asking how to get rich online, and we're talking about Weekly Scam.
Yeah. Hard work. You
know what? There is no substitution for working your butt off and studying and study. It's a combination. You got to learn, you got to work hard, and you got to never quit. And maybe it'll work. I can't guarantee it though. Unless you, I won't talk politics. I'll let Rob talk politics. He's so liberal. He's a liberal guy. Rob is. There's Loud Radio. Finally got Loud Radio up. This is like pulling it in.
Oh, here's Loud Radio.
I will succeed, period. Oh, I like that. Thank you, Loud Radio. That is an excellent way to finish up today. Excellent. Thank you.
Hey,
We'll see you all tomorrow at 9:00. We're going to be talking about government contracts Rob, if you get a chance, you might be one of the guys to come in. So the first half hour will be making the podcast, and the second half hour, next hour, we'll be talking more in detail, asking questions. But we are going to be talking about how do you land that government contract tomorrow. And I've let out some big government contracts, spent a lot of government money, especially overseas. And I haven't quite figured it out because I've never done it. I think the key is you actually have to have a coach, and then you just do it. You just put in for contracts. I do know from being a civil affairs, being a civil engineer in the Air Force, Air National Guard for a while, that there was a contract that was won by a husband and wife couple to paint the white lines on the runway in some of this airstrip. And they really screwed up the contract because they forgot to put a time limit on it. Really bizarre. It's amazing.
Hello,
so the people. Yeah,
I think Loud Radio is behind behind his slogan.
We got that sound. Go ahead, Loud Radio.
Hey, I just wanted to kind of reach out to you guys. I appreciate you guys answering that question. I see that you promote product and service on your site. Is that what your site's about, Bill?
Which site? I've got 22 websites.
Oh my. Okay, well, I'll just stick with one, or the most one you deal with or you work with. The thing is what I was trying to say is that with Synccast, and that's pronounced sync as you would sync your phone to iTunes with the cast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I thought one of you guys had mentioned zinc, as in zinc, the
Synccast. Say that again. Can you put the link on down below?
CYNC.
Yeah, so it's sync as you would sync your iPad or your iPhone to iTunes, and then cast at the end with the K. So it's SYNCKAST.com. And it's a Wix. Don't let that Wix brand fool you, because there's a lot behind that. I saw
that.
It's just a landing page, because I didn't want to all the links on there won't work on some of these other, like WordPress or whatever. But that's just a page for everybody to kind of get knowledge that this is coming soon this summer, which we're anticipating it'll be done around June or July. But yeah, you can this platform will enable you to monetize with your live broadcasting. People are getting the understanding that they are going to be able to monetize by promoting their product and services that they do on a daily basis here on Blab and Periscope and things like that, So this is a little different. This is the actual monetization of the live broadcasting as you're live right now. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to reach out to you guys to let you know that will be here this summer, and it's got a few twists to it. So
did no one drop the link in? I don't see the link.
Oh, okay. I can drop that.
Drop the link in, man. We're lazy. We like the link dropped in.
Oh, okay. Here's.
And I love it. I love you. You have good sound, Mr.
No, it was in there before. It was in there before. It just got buried with the.
Okay,
other
yeah, stuff gets buried. I apologize.
There it is.
Oh, I use a 4-channel mixer with effects. I don't know if you guys.
Oh, yeah, got to come up and tell us how you do it. Not today because we're running out of time, but come up anytime. I really want to use the second after the first 15 minutes of talking to the guest. I want to go up and talk the next 45 minutes about how to make money online, and then I guarantee you, not saying that you have anything to do with this, but scammers will start showing up.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
so we want to know the good and the bad. We want to sort out that good and the bad. We're going to tell people to run from the scammers. And we're going to talk about mistakes too. Like, I've spent way too much money buying crap online. Excuse my language.
Yes, it's not something you buy per se, but it's something you'll be able to work in and learn how to actually. It'll give you the ambitions to promote more of your stuff, because you're going to be able to monetize as you go along, as you broadcast and things so forth.
I love your voice.
Hey, this is everybody. Oh, everybody says that, and I feel like I really don't have that voice, but I guess that's where we're at.
You got the next Howard Stern here.
I was using
audio podcast on Spreaker. I'm sure you're probably aware of Spreaker. I got about 12,000 listeners at this point, and that was all done by myself.
Nice.
Not to,
you can make some money with 12,000 listeners.
Not to brag or anything, but just I didn't have nobody promote my shows. I did it, and I talk and play music, and it got all those people there. So yeah, so I just want to grab everybody in, come and look at it, and everybody's like, well, you got a Wix brand attached to it, and it's like, I know, but don't let that fool you, because there's a lot more behind the back door.
Hey, are you from South Jordan, in Salt Lake?
Yes, I am.
Who? One of the safest places in the world to live from. I'll tell you what, just get on Highway 80, drive for 6 or 8 hours. Tomorrow morning, I'll buy you lunch for brunch.
Oh, are you in Utah?
I'm in Reno, Nevada, just across.
That's where I'm trying to relocate. I'm trying to get everything going, but that's where the headquarters are going to be for Syncast. It's going to be out there in Las Vegas.
Oh, in Vegas. You got to go down Highway 15 then. We're Highway 80. Yeah. So you go 80 to Reno and 15 down to Vegas. Oh,
so I've been down to Ely, I think it is called.
Ely, yeah. Are you from Salt Lake area?
No, I'm from Barstow, California.
Oh, Barstow. You're in Barstow.
Yeah, that's where I was born and raised there for 20 years, and then I came here. I've been here for like 25 years.
About 2004, we started developing a piece of property out there in Yerma. We have a 15 acres or 20 acres free and clear zone for R1 that we didn't build. Thank goodness.
Wow.
We still own it. It went up to about $3 million in value. It's worth about $500,000 now.
So what would you say? My dad owns a 100-acre land in Texas, Houston, Texas, and he's kind of contemplating, because he gets approached by these cell service.
You know what? Hold on a minute. Loud radio. Sorry to interrupt there, Eric. You may have to refresh because it doesn't look like it's letting you come in.
Right. Houston is a easier place to develop property than California. You have vesting rights, and it takes a lot of time, a lot of money. Just to put in what we call paper lots, you're talking, I don't know, $6,000 to $7,000 in engineering, and then minimum of $15,000 in improvements. So you're into $22,000 a lot. You get 5 lots per acre. So 20 acres is like, you can multiply it and do the terms. We gave 3 acres to the school so they could build a school. They did build a school, and that's someday will be a project.
120 million, but he doesn't want to. He has some parts that he goes and visits with his horse, and he doesn't. That's his time out that he goes out. He's a little older, so but he's kind of contemplating whether to let it go for that amount or to keep portion of it, or you know what I mean. So
Loud Ray, are you going down? Are you going to move to Vegas?
I'm looking towards that way. I've been wanting to do that for the longest time, but I'm here trying to do this project, and
Yes, you live in a great area. I mean, the quality of life, I know where you live, is one of the best in the United States. It's reported. I've done enough reading. And
Hey, Loud, what's your first name?
My first name is Tim.
Tim.
Hey, Tim, did you see there? Somebody wants to know when Syncast is launching.
It's going to be launching June 2016.
Right around the corner. There we go. June 2016.
We're gonna try to meet that deadline. If not, then we will, make it that month, maybe in July. The latest is going to be August. We don't want to do anything later than August, but.
So is this your business?
June. Excuse me?
Is this your business, Syncast, or how are you connected with it?
I came up with the idea of the project, and my partner and some other people are trying to come in.
You want to do a timeline interview and come up and tell us more detail about it, and I'll put you on a podcast?
Here's the thing. I can give you what's on the site, because what's behind everything else is proprietary at this point.
Yeah.
But I don't mean to cover anything up. I just wanted to make sure when people go there, they're understanding what it's about, and not to say, because I kind of talked to some other people, and they're thinking that we can monetize by Mevi. I'm assuming. So they're not understanding that it's not what you're promoting that you can make money on Syncast. Is the actual broadcast itself.
Okay. You know what? Again, I just put my link in. It's an open note out there. We talk a little bit about you and where you're from and what you did and what your life success principles are, and then let you throw a little commercial in.
Oh,
so that's what it's about. Hey, Eric.
there he is.
Where are you calling in from, Eric?
Your screen's frozen, Eric. I think that's why we're having some issues there.
Okay. No, it's moving. He's got a little blab issues going.
He's got a little lag there.
Got some lag.
He's being blabbed. He's going through the blab zone, the blabosphere.
And he just needs to pull the screen. You're not centered. That better.
Anyway, the first name was Loud Radio. You said it. I didn't write
Tim.
it.
Yeah,
Tim.
just think of the
Tim, I just put the link in there. Just to think of. I'm only doing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday now. The interviews, and they're fun interviews, and I only do it like 3 weeks in advance because we have other shows on Thursday. We have a real estate show, which is interesting, and we've got a SaaS developer. Friday, we've got my favorite Rob. We're gonna have to have Rob on the show. We need some input from Rob on this. It's called the weekly scam, weeklyscam.com.
Yeah, there's a lot of scammers out there. It's just
we're on Blab. We want to, I was really concerned about using this name and be associated with scam, but we want to talk about it.
This is a positive show.
Oh, yes. This is very positive, and I love that. That's why I said I will succeed. Period.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like that you said that. You know what? There's a YouTube thing. It's just amazing called Do It. I just found it. I got to drop this in here. I'm gonna go to YouTube. Every time I start typing YouTube, Blabcast comes up. That's like my site. But YouTube, there's one that says just do it. I got to put this in here. I love this. Just do it. I just saw this the other day, and it's a kid actor, LaBeouf, Shia LaBeouf, I think is his name. This thing is hysterical, and it's not hysterical, but it's good. I mean, except it's got a commercial right now. Skip the commercial. And I'm going to put another one in too. I like. There's one where he talks. Little kids are looking at it. Look at this. I just dropped it in there. Everyone, look it up. Open it up and look at it. It's hysterical. There's another one where they show us the little kids. Oh, here it is. I got to find this. Here's the second one. You got to watch the other one first. And I'm sticking this in. Hey, there he is. That's hysterical. Little kids are watching it. He said he's angry. So anyway, it looks good. That's nice. He's got like a TriCaster. Hey, Mike, when are you going to get TriCasters?
When am I?
Yeah.
Never. I'm going to make it. I'm going to keep it simple.
I took my cam twist off so I could keep it simpler.
I have I have the KISS theory on this live broadcasting.
Is your mic there?
Hello.
You see, I love that. That's the sound I want. I want that deep
right there. You want that?
So we need to get. Where's your boom? Your cheesy boom. He buys a cheesy boom. I tell him $32.
No. What happened is I bought this and it doesn't fit my.
I gave you this boom to buy on my site. It's $32.
I made it. I made my own.
Well, this is $32. It's a kickstand, man.
I got the same one.
Right here, $32 on my bank. I get my 4%.
I took that bar out and I put my own. I put the boom. I bought a boom and I drilled a hole and I now it's on that stand that you showed.
Is that a picture of your desk right there?
No, that's just a picture that my brother sent me.
It's not your real desk. Got an old Mac.
The real me. This is real. This is me.
That's you. Okay.
That's my boom, but that's on that mic stand, so I can lift this all the way up if I want to stand.
Yeah, I like.
We just turned this to this old house in live broadcasting.
But you don't talk politics on here, do you?
We do talk politics Sunday night. We go crazy. We have right and left on, and I try to stay neutral, but I'm more right than left. And we got to bring in the real lefty up there is Rob Hicks. We got to get him on.
Thanks for all the love out there. Thanks for all the.
You're spreading vicious rumors.
Yeah,
Rob.
I don't want to do that. I'll be like the other guy. It's not on anymore.
Spreading vicious rumors.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's tie a bow on this sucker so we can move on.
Yeah, we got to go. Hey, and one last question: when are we going to start that city tour of the Blab book, guys? Coming to your city next to you. Let's do a city tour on Blab. We'll get at least 5 people to show up at each site. So anyway, Hey, thank you, everybody. We love the Blab
Hey, Tim,
audience.
nice meeting you. We'll be talking some more.
And remember,
Okay.
tomorrow we're going to be talking about federal contracts, and we'll go up and figure out how to make money and avoid scams.
Yes,
Thanks, Mike.
yes.
Mike's my
All right, we'll see
co-host
you
on the show.
Hey, nice meeting you guys.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Take care. See you guys.
Bye.
Love it.
All right.